what I do for you.
That's a really polite way of saying someone to ignore you and don't give you the attention that you're clearly seeking, and therefore everything carries on as normal.
Exactly that. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
And you do it so damn well, Tim. But you are right, though. This is one of those games that I'm looking at it, and look, I get the point. I can understand Fresh saying accidental banger. We've had 2 of those so far today. Why couldn't the third game be like it? To my mind, one of that combo has to be broken at some point. I think it's going to happen now. Secret, might only get a couple of rounds here, but I think once you switch sides, you're going to see a pretty dominant affair off the back of that. If this goes anywhere near overtime, it's going to feel like a massive drop for Secret, who, again, as a reminder, if they win this game, they temporarily at least go top of the table.
Normally, in this sort of situation, I would look at it, I think one of 2 things is likely to happen here. And I don't know which it's going to be, but
Here we go. Mystic Tim's on the case.
I think it's going to be the latter. I think when a great team like Secret got slapped around a little bit yesterday by Falcons, 7-2, it wasn't a close game. There's 2 ways that team is going to respond. They're either going to be shook to their core, their confidence is going to be destroyed, and they're going to, really go on a tough streak where we struggle to see them get back to, previous standards. Or, and this is what I think we might see today, it's kind of like a hornet's nest has been whacked with a big stick, and Falcons have run away, and Gen.G have just kind of come down the street whistling, chilling, and they're now going to get attacked by the hornet's nest.
I like how you built a whole story and narrative around this.
Yeah, and I've got a little bit of a feeling that Secret could be the agitated hornet's nest today.
Well, we're going to find out very shortly as the game is now underway. Round 1 begins. As a reminder again, Gen.G on the defense, Secret on the attack. And I want to kick things off with a little bit cheeky roaming up on this top floor. In case you've got weird deja vu, don't worry. These are 2 different teams compared to what you saw earlier. And yes, you are seeing an extended hold out towards Cash and CC. The attempt on the side of Gen.G is to waste as much time as possible. Vogel going to say, forget about that. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 straight into sight. He could well be going here. Already heard the wall getting opened up. There's a call coming through. And Mowgli is in like he knows best. In he goes and finds one for himself. Great timing with the flashbang as well. They have broken Logi open. Sight is theirs. Wow. Secret have rolled over Gen.G here. Something special. They hold on for now, but 2 quick kills from Adrian sees us in a 1 versus 4. Tim, blink and you miss it.
Now that to me, Des, looked a lot like what I would imagine an angry hornet's nest to look like. And I think that's probably what we're going to see out of Secret. Look, they can't do that every single round. Gen.G are going to be, more than prepared for it. And Secret won't try that again. They've just gone in there, got aggressive. It's worked brilliantly. Oh, really? Look, it's worked brilliantly. I think Secret will probably come out and play a more measured pace through the rest of it. But, I mean, that's just a statement piece, isn't it, that round? That's just coming out and saying, look, forget about yesterday. And this is what I said, coming in, they're either going to be shook to their core, their confidence destroyed, which I didn't think would be the case, or they're going to come in and just say, nah, yesterday was a blip, we just had a bad day. And that's exactly what it looks like.
What I loved about it so much was, again, the sync-up play that they had. Like, you just heard all the utility being dumped in, walls being open, Mowgli's flying in through a window, player inside a Logi's being flashed off. It just worked together in perfect harmony. That's the set-piece play they pulled off there, and no doubt they've spotted the gap as well, at least before when prepping against Gen.G. Knowing, for example, there wasn't going to be someone sat in a certain spot where it's completely ruined their day, or that they'd find someone tucked into that corner of Logi and get a freebie off the back of it. Just really, really good intelligent reader, thinking it hard. I think a lot of top teams would struggle to deal with that. Not least, Gen.G have been run over by one of our top teams here in the region. Down to the base we go, though, and once again, we've got this wall upstairs locked off, this time at Nuke Gemmed off. A bit of an early exchange between Azox and June here. Neither, of course, going down, but both at least walking away with a few wounds.
Doom, of course, one of our top-rated players inside of EML at the minute. I always like to have a look at, who's the top-rated player on the other side. How are they comparing? At the minute, coming into the play day today, we had Doom up there in 4th place, overall rated, tied 3rd with Doki, actually. You had to look all the way down to 20th to find Skies for Gen.G. So, again, it just gives us that little bit of a yardstick to measure, the overall performances of these teams. Secret certainly sort of head and shoulders above at the minute and showing why in the first round. Now, they've got themselves established inside of the map. They are in charge of bar, in charge of first floor and top floor. Ooh, now then, Skies. Mentioning Skies is still up in gym. Are Secret aware of this? So is Naquo up on that top floor, and kind of just trying to push directly towards site here. They've seen an opportunity. They know that they kind of 4 versus 2 on site, 4 versus 1 now. And again, Secret just seeing that opportunity and going full force at it. They have done nothing to dispel the picture that I painted, that they are indeed just a set of angry Hornets.
No accidental banger actually in game 3. Yeah, absolutely not so far. It has been... you're kind of waiting for the game to start properly here because Secret have turned up. Gen.G have not so far. And although, like you said, I don't think we'll see it happen again, we have just seen the second very quick round coming out from the side of Secret. They know that we're behind schedule on the show and they want to catch up. What absolutely upstanding gentlemen they truly are. I imagine part of it, though, is probably realizing, okay, Gen.G aren't going to be the most coordinated team here. They're, still figuring themselves out a little bit as a team. What can we do here to really capitalize? We go fast, we go aggressive. We obviously make sure that there's all the intricacies done correct. We're using util for each other. We're droning, for example. There's people covering flanks, all the important things as well. It's not just run into site and hope to kill everybody. It's not literal TDM. It's very, very thought out aggression to start. The Secret so far have just given nothing to Gen.G, who I think is still loading into the server at this point. Tim, it has not been a good start.
Yeah, no, it's been a real rude awakening for them, hasn't it, against Secret here on Clubhouse. Definite tough one. And, from Gen.G's perspective, where do you go with this? I don't think they're necessarily making terrible mistakes or anything. They set up last time round. They had 2 up on the top floor as roamers. Absolutely fine. Very, very standard. But we just saw Secret kind of run past them. They just saw the opportunity to get onto main stairs. Noah goes down and finds 2, and all of a sudden you've got 1 left on site. And Secret are flooding, so then you 2 on top floor have to rush back. They get cut off as they do. Just, ultimately just very, very good stuff from Secret. Very good opportunity spotting and taking that chance. So Gen.G, I'm not really sure where you go from here, to be honest. It feels like one of those games where sometimes we look at the defensive side when they're getting attacked like this, and you kind of say, well, they could do this. But then, as you're saying it, you realise it wouldn't work against this Secret attack. And, they could all stay on site. Where, Secret are just going to flood in and find the kills. Or, well, they could play with more roamers. Well, they just did that. And Secret just, ran past them and saw the opportunity. And I think this is much more about Team Secret than it is about Gen.G at the minute. All they can really do, I think, is stay resilient in their own minds, dig themselves in, and just try and start thinking about each gunfight at a time. Just try and win those gunfights and see where that gets them.
Clutch check pause coming out, probably a bit of a blessing for Gen.G here as well. They've been, as we've said multiple times now, steamrolled in those first 2 rounds. A little bit of time to sort of recompose themselves, of course, at least to themselves, and then get back together as a team and hopefully bring the fire in round 3. That's what we all want to see. As much as I was saying, I think it's going to be a very, very dominant affair. I don't think it'll be a close game. I said it might be quite a close game, but I don't think it'll be like as close as maybe people were anticipating. In fact, Anne said I didn't think I said it would be a good game. I do think it'll be a good game. What we've seen from Secret so far has been good, but I didn't think it would be a close game, and so far it has not been close. So we're kind of at least getting those 2 tick boxes marked off there. All right, Noah?
Okay.
I need one of them. What is that? Is it like a dinosaur toy? He's stacking. Oh, okay.
It has wings.
What is it?
I don't know. I can't tell. It had wings, so it lent me towards a dragon. But it did look more kind of dinosaur-y. But I think, obviously, they're both kind of similar. But sometimes we do get dinosaurs drawn with wings. There are a couple of characters I can think of like that. So,
I tell you what, Adrian has got a proper bloke's bedroom, hasn't he?
The
very
model
much
car.
unused shelves, really, for the most part. And then not even like a wardrobe or anything, just a rack that he hangs all of his clothes on. And then his bed and his computer.
Siege, laser focused on his siege. That's what we love to see. Jim's got a couple of jerseys up on the wall, I think, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I always love a framed jersey. I think they look really nice.
Mowgli, there's not really giving much away, just a white wardrobe and a fan. And what I assume is like a little bath for washing a baby in. I don't know. What is it?
You've done well there, Des, to say that you're not with children. You don't have any children. You've done.
Were you trying to think about the nice way to say that then for that longest amount of time?
Yeah, I was.
You could have just said, "Hey, you haven't got kids there." Something like, "Yeah, I ain't got kids. You're right. Yeah."
No, you've done well there.
That's my fine observation to make.
I'm impressed. Well done.
Oh, the thing is, my partner's got a friend that she did her PhD with, and she had her baby's like first year, like 1-year-old birthday about last week. And naturally, the thing is, like, she's had the kid. They've got into like an antenatal group and all the rest of it. There's about 7 of them, all with kids around the same age. And because my partner is the woman's friend from the PhD days, we got invited along as well. And I was just like, wow, we are so like, just so not like these people.
Not a part of this world.
Not in a bad way, but they're all running around naturally worrying about their kids. Like they're running into table corners, are they hurting themselves? Are they trying to stick a fork in like a plug socket or something? And we were just there being dead chill, just like, yeah, we'll have some snacks and have a beer, have a bit of a chat about some games before the dad inevitably has to run off and go and worry about the kid again. It was great. So we are surrounded by kids in our life in general, but we just don't have kids ourselves.
Yeah. See, I'm very much past the worrying stage. Certainly about stuff like that. You know, my daughter's 10 now, so I don't have to worry about her doing silly things generally.
Like, into double digits.
You know, is she messing under the kitchen counter, or I don't really need to worry about that stuff anymore because she's a smart girl and she doesn't. The worries change. That this is the thing that you find as a parent. You see, the worries just change. They don't disappear. They just change as they go on. So yeah, the current concerns are around things like the internet and social media and things like that. So equally terrifying in different ways.
However, there is a very exciting prospect that very soon she'll either be out in the garden with you or she'll be on the golf course with you.
Does both. Very much enjoys getting out on the course with me. Yeah, she likes to come out and play some golf with me.
Give her like a couple of years and she'll be beating you, mate.
Oh, this is what that's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, like, get in there, get stuck in. Yeah, give me a bit of a challenge.
Oh, mate, is it?
It's really not. Depressingly not.
All right. Right, we're back into things. And as we said, that probably was a bit of a timely tech pause that came through for Gen.G there. At the end of the day, they need to recompose themselves. Start playing Siege here because they have been run over twice in a row so far. And I know we said it after round 1, Tim. I genuinely don't think in the 3rd round we're going to see another rush like that coming out from Secret. Even with how they've started things out so far and the operators they've brought along, things like the Capitao, the Flores, of course the Hard Breacher and the Thermite, it screams to me they want to do quite a bit of prep work first and make sure that utility is used to maximum effect before they think about hitting the site itself.
It's just, I think for Gen.G, it's got to be about survival, really. If they can get themselves through that first minute and a half, 2 minutes without losing any bodies, it's going to then force Secret to think more, to play more, rather than just running in and it's certainly not been a TDM style that they play, and I'm not trying to say that, but just running and gunning and taking those fights and just cutting them down, before they can get themselves settled. And they're certainly looking a little bit closer towards that this time in CCTV and Cash. They've still got hold of Catwalk. They've got 3 ADSs, Keeper Barricades, so that should make that pretty tough to deal with. They do have the utility with the Grim Bees, the Capitao. They've got everything they need. They've got the Roteros that they could possibly get up there to clear out some of that utility as well. So that position should come under some pressure. Skies is going to have to hold on there. We'll need some support. But yeah, Gen.G, this is what I wanted. A minute 40 and they haven't lost anybody. They've not lost any positions. They're forcing Secret to play a bit more.
This will be the test of Secret now, just how drilled they are when it comes to utility dumping on towards Skies here. EMP from down below, a second one as well. Now the fire comes over the top. There's nothing else to catch. They're forcing back, but no, he's got the kill as well. Finds 2. Savage and Mowgli are making a 3rd. Down goes Doom. They didn't expect him to come running down the stairs, Tim. Actually gets traded back out by Noah in the end, but the damage is done. He has deleted that garage attack single-handedly.
Yeah, that's phenomenal play from Skies. Gen.G definitely waking up in this round. Need to be careful they don't let it slip away as Noah manages to get a second in the round. There's going to be a push up red stairs as well. That's the kill they really need to get. Take Adrian down and just break this one apart. Noah is the one to go, and Adrian has been kept at bay with these Toxic Babe canisters. So really nice from Gen.G, but Skies, he has absolutely no business getting a triple in there. How often do we see defenders not only able to survive the onslaught of the attackers from bottom garage, but able to kill all 3 of them? Brilliant stuff from Skies. Really won the round for Gen.G.
We saw it in our last map back on Clubhouse as well, where I forget the player that was up in Catwalk, but they got absolutely torched out, and I was just like, not very much you can do there. But Skies has shown that the possible can become possible. Very quickly stepped across as he saw the fire coming up, knew the second one was going to follow on to another position, and rather than sitting there and waiting to die, thought, right, I'm going for it. And I think the one key thing that maybe changed away there somewhat for the side of Secret is classically, you clear that out by lobbing up frags and flashes. There were none of that. It was just EMPs below. And so Skies was never full white screened and able to shoot back or defend himself, which is why he went for the challenge. Like, here, look, there's no white screen. He can do whatever the bloody Nora he wants there to be able to challenge, and Secret can just sit there and take the L, I guess, for the most part. So, although I like the idea of the approach using the micro EMPs below to disable the ADSs and try and catch him off guard, all it's done really is enabled him to pop off there and do something a little bit different that you wouldn't normally see when holding Catwalk.
Let's see whether that can get Gen.G a bit more active then, get them into this one. They really need to, in all honesty, probably be winning the next 3 rounds. They need 4 in a row here. Go 4-2 on the half. Because much like I said for Wolves in the last one against Virtus.pro, I expect the attacks to be more difficult for Gen.G than the defenses. Wolves, they proved us wrong. They proved that they could get it done. And they won that game, took the full 3 points. Gen.G, again, are going to have certainly a brick wall to come up against when Secret get onto the defense. So as many rounds as they possibly can now. The next 3, I think, are almost essential, in honesty.
Yeah. 4-2. Sort of thing you'd hope to see. Though I do think Secret will find themselves pulling together an attack. Like, don't get me wrong, Skies has got nuclear there. Is it going to happen again? Is Lightning going to strike twice against a team like Secret? Most likely not. And of course, they've got to rotate through different sites as well, so I don't think they'll find themselves with 3 in a row. However, crazy things have happened, Tim. We've seen 6-0s flip back to an 8-6 win before.
Detected a bomb.
It's Siege. Madness can happen. We'll see if it builds into that. But now, of course, they get the focus going on the downstairs, which probably means full map clear may well be in order. At least that's where they're going to see Savage kicking things off on the Thatcher upstairs by himself, getting himself in towards Logi, whilst Adrian already gets to work inside of that kitchen hallway. A little bit of challenge given, but it is going to force Gen.G back.
Yeah, they're all on site now. We've got Azox, who's kind of bouncing up and down blue stairs, but generally speaking, they've all been forced back, so Secret can fairly comfortably get on with taking this map control, opening hatches, putting a bit of pressure onto site. Just need to be careful of the one inside of stock, but he's, again, dipped away. I don't think he wants to overcommit to that, which is absolutely fair. So, Secret, plenty of time at hand now. Noah can start going through, having a field day with those hatches, get them all taken out. Azox does keep wanting to come for this challenge, but that drone is finally going to send him back. However, it's that man once again. Skies creeping his way up main stairs. Secret have took their eye off the ball, and they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, now they're slowed down, you're seeing the gaps in their attack as well. Like, June's been picked off there completely for free. No one else nearby to really support him, and Secret now has to sort of rearrange now that they've lost the Capitão. Yeah, that was a lot of utility that he carries, really, was their main way in towards site with the smokes and the fire to deny away via the sight lines or the actual operators themselves from being able to challenge. And now that he's gone, everything looks that little bit different. No smokes to play behind. It's looking rough already for Secret.
And they've still not dealt with it. Fool me once, you know, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Skies has now got a pre-kill again from a tough position. Yeah, he gets cut down as he goes back down the stairs, but he doesn't care because the attack's already over. They're down to Noah and Adrian. That's all that's left. It's 4v2. There's 45 seconds, so they've got time on their side, but Gen.G just need to hold on from side here. They'll take the fights as they come, which they do. Take them both out. Nice round from Gen.G, but again, how have Secret allowed Skies to get away with that? He's come up onto main stairs and get one. I'm already talking about, well, you know, that shouldn't really be happening, and I'm thinking, Secret, you've got 6 drones left at that point. You know, have you got a drone on those stairs? You know, have you thought about maybe taking a Nomad or a Gridlock, you know, something to cut off the flanks? You know, they've not done anything to manage that situation. He's walked up and got one. It's then unforgivable for him to get a further 2. That's just ridiculous.
I'll come back to the same comments that I made in the prior round, Tim. I assume both Noah and Adrian knew that flash grenades exist, right? Because they have the burgle angle at the bottom of these stairs here, so we can't go back down really towards site. What on earth Savage is doing here, vaulting over the side of the stairs, I don't know. But after he's died and they've got 3 kills, only then does a flash follow. Like, what are we doing? Do they just not know that they exist? Fair play to Skies. Lightning has struck twice. He's got another 3K and won the round for his team. But Secret should not be letting this happen. Not as a team that is currently third on the table.
They just seem to be panicking a little bit. Like you say, you know, you've got utility that can make it pretty much a guarantee that you clear that position. Flashbang goes over, detonates. There's nobody the Sky can see. You can either kill him. And I just think you know, you had him cut off from the vertical on the stairs where he was ultimately killed from as well. And I just look at that and I think that must be a little bit of panic setting in for Secret. The comms must be getting a little bit crazy, you know, I'm expecting. And he's on main stairs, he's hit us with it, you know, and everybody's kind of trying to throw themselves at it to solve the problem, rather than everybody taking the foot off the gas and saying, let's problem solve it. You know, right, send a flash in, right, push after it, and, you know, having a bit more of a structured approach to it. That's how it seems, you know, outside looking in.
Well, Tim, this time around we're trying to be a little bit sneaky. We'll have a nook.
Of course we'll have a nook.
Of course, whether or not he gets away with anything, manages to get a little stab in the back onto either of those bulletproof cameras is the one to watch out for. Not wholly anticipating it, to be fair, more for the utility. I spot those 2 frags in back pocket. Still 4 flashes on side. Would like to see them use to try and push away these more anchor players, the ones that are holding down a key position elsewhere around the map. Without him, they're going to work their way yet again through this extended hold. That's exactly where those flashes might yet come to life and do some work for them.
Yeah, they've had to use a lot of utility clearing out the castle barricades on the windows, now using them to open up the wall through into Cash, which is going to force Skies just a little bit deeper. And that's a nice kill. Mowgli drops in and gets it this time. They are recognizing the positions that Gen.G are wanting to hold, and rather than just throwing bodies at them, they're forcing them into those bad positions. They force Skies to move away from Cash and cut him off as he did.
And of course he'll have enough, Tim! 2 kills for
the double!
Gets 2 for himself. Just sat there as a flank watch as well, not needing to do a whole lot more, but has sat there and been paid his reward for a little bit of patience. Secret taking the round a little bit slower, and doing so as a team, quite disciplined for the most part. Savage, okay, fair enough, exposed himself a bit too much. Azox gets a freebie, but surely not, Tim. Surely we don't see ourselves losing a 4v2, right?
I wouldn't expect so. I think Secret get this done from here. Azox and of course trying to hold on, but you can see this wall's open. They can't use the elbow. It's a gym and bedroom site, so they kind of just stuck to using shower. Asa's going to be pushed back down the main stairs as well. Yes, they're trying to get aggressive here, but surely all that does is tell them the position. Yes, manages to get the Hibana. Can't get a second. Surely 2v2, Des.
We are throwing. Hello. Doom is now in a 1 versus 2, and the C4's below. Okay, we've thrown a 4v2. Okay. Never mind, pack it up. It's the Secret banger.
I was just going to say there, if Secret are 4v2, they win the round, it's the 3-3 half. They might have had, you know, round 3 and 4 wasn't fantastic for them, but they've got the 3. They've got the 3, and they're looking pretty good. But Gen.G, they managed to keep on rolling. I said they needed 4 in a row. Well, they're 75% of the way there, and they're looking pretty solid right now.
Damn, bro. Tech pauses really are the difference maker. I'm not at all trying to suggest, by the way, that it was Gen.G's fault we had a tech pause, but since that time, they have really collected themselves and started playing the game, and they look loaded. Looking absolutely fantastic. Again, okay, as a 4v2, it was a 5v2. And they've still managed to win it out. Fair play. Azox and Ace take a bow. You did a brilliant job there. Secret, with the caliber of team they are, should not be letting this happen in any world. No, they really shouldn't. Again, it's kind of that similar situation to the main stairs. You know, not paying attention to the details. And in that case, it was not using a utility. In this case, you're in a 4v2. You have time. Just take that time and force Azox and Acer into bad positions. Force them into no-win situations. Push them 2v1, 3v1. Don't give them an option, but instead, they've fed their way in there. They've pushed 1 onto the soft wall breach. What's the Hibana doing pushing there? You know that they're going to see your legs before you can see anything inside. And it was the easiest spray down that Azox is ever going to have. It was, you know, they're giving them the opportunities, but Gen.G are more than happy to hoover them up. It's been great stuff from them.
It
has. I mean, to pull it back to where we are, could be that 4-2 half. Wow. What a turnaround it will be. Last chance for Saloon for Secret to turn this one. Why is that such a tongue twister? I don't know. Last chance Saloon for Secret to turn this one around and get something back. We get that 3-3 scoreline. They'll feel a bit hard done, like they could have done more in this half. Gen.G will feel disappointed they couldn't make it 4-2 because they have been on 1 across these last 3 rounds. Let's see how things set up for here. Now, At least looking for where we're playing up. It's Cash DC. We've got the same hold inside a garage again. Remember last time around? They relied very heavily on EMPs to get the job done. This time around, they've got the Force flashes still to play behind. They've got smokes. They've got the Capitao. They have got all the tools needed to make this happen. They just need to really not muck it up against it.
DMR up on Catwalk, I was just going to say, is terrifying, but Skies puts himself on ice as Doom does the same thing for him in a different way. We're going to see the Tubarão taken down. It's just 5 versus 4 and a nice entry for Secret because it gives them the garage Catwalk. They can start already thinking towards the plant. They just need to make sure that they've got lounge control so they don't get hit with a nitro again from underneath. That's not ideal.
That is certainly not ideal, no. Again, I just feel a bit nervous because of how last round's played out, that even down a man, they can still find themselves coming out on top. I mean, for now, you've still got, look at this, the full extended hold coming out from Gen.G. They're not even pulling their players back yet. They want to try and hold off, and they may have to change that attack pretty damn soon, Tim, because players are starting to fall like dominoes. Secret are getting a march on. Turns out they do not flash grenades are. They get a flash through. They get another kill. 2 kills come back, though, and now it's a 1v2. But there we go. The trade has been secured. 3-3 half. If you've kind of gave me that on paper at the start of the day and said Secret will get 3 attacking rounds, I'd have said, yeah, that's good. And I think in the fashion they have, they'll feel disappointed they didn't get more. For Gen.G, though, a great 3-round flurry they had.
Yes, I kind of feel for Gen.G. Maybe they'll prove me wrong on the attack, but I said coming into that, I felt like they needed the 4 rounds in a row, get to 4-2, and take a little bit of pressure off this second half for themselves. Secret on defense, I think are going to be a bit of a different kettle of fish for them to deal with. So, yeah, Gen.G just kind of falling at that last hurdle there. They nearly did it. There was a moment where you were thinking they might just get this over the line again. They were hitting that shotgun onto top red stairs, making it very difficult for Secret to take any ground. But ultimately, Secret had done enough work. They got the breach open. They got garage control, and they were able to use those multiple angles to push themselves over the line. So, Secret showing some good resilience there, getting themselves back in the mix. It's always a good one to win is round 6. If you're gonna have a bit of a dry spell, get out of it by winning round 6, carry that momentum at the side switch, and now they're going to try and make life miserable for Gen.G whilst they're on the defense. I am wondering how many are going to be up on the top floor. I think it'll be at least 2, but it'd surprise me if it's 3.
Absolutely. Now, come back to what we said during the Wolves game earlier against Virtus Pro, Tim, like, this is where the hard work now really begins. Gen.G have got to show some magic on the attacking side. You're going into a team very happy to be on the defending side here as well. They've had their fun. They've had their rushes to start things off. They meandered their way through that half. I would be shocked to see Secret pull ahead here and get this done in regulation. But maybe, just maybe, it is that Secret banger that Fresh has been predicting, and this one could be something pretty spicy.
I think the next couple of rounds are really going to determine that for us. If Secret come in with 2 successful defences, you will feel that it is starting to slip away from Gen.G, although that's kind of how it went in the last game again, and Wolves were able, you know, to dig deep and get it done and turn that momentum around. Whether we'll have that back-to-back or not, time will tell. But for now, Secret need to be winning these first couple. They are down in the basement, just having a look. They've got 2 up on the top floor, Mowgli and Doom. Not players that you really want to be going looking for, trying to find an entry, because they just have a habit of finding them. Mowgli shuts down Deadshot through the fencing, getting chased down aggressively by the blitz. Now Doom manages to back him up, and I said these were the last 2 that you wanted to be chasing around the top floor, and they've just shown exactly why. 3 kills between the 2 of them, and all of a sudden it's 4v1, and Secret look back on top.
He's just got, his vision's turned red, Tim, and he's just gone for it then, Azox. I don't horribly blame him, but you just should know that Secret aren't really playing a solo roamer out there. There's going to be a second man in support, and they've got rid of the blitz completely for free. Like, a mistake being made on the hatch itself leads to a free kill. Then you're seeing Red and chasing after Mo through the map, dying to that as well. That is largely what's cost around for Gen.G here. You know, Ace can stand here and pop away these tracks all day long if he really wants, Tim, but I think we all know which way this is going.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Ace going to be just trying to open up a couple of verticals. He's got time. He's got 1 minute 10, maybe, you know, hold an angle or 2, see what they offer. See if they give you anything for free, but I really don't think this Secret team are going to. Nope, as he steps out, Savage is there, waiting and ready. He runs into his open arms, takes him down, and Secret get themselves the first of what I think is 2 important rounds. 4-3 now on the scoreboard. Another sees them 5-3. And those 3 rounds that Gen.G were able to win back-to-back start looking like they're a long way back in the rearview mirror at that point.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree with you. Solid first start. However, still plenty more to go. See if Gen.G can do something to battle their way back in. Like I say, it was that seeing of red and the pursuit through the map that just kind of... I was like, yeah, cut your losses at that point. You've lost a man, sure, but let's not go crazy trying to chase after him. There's that scramble of utility to follow as well. The dock could be cool coming out a little bit late. That was just a bit like, oh, looks a bit crazy, a bit erratic. So we'll calm it down a bit, Gen.G. We can try and make the same thing work again, because I actually liked the lineup. I thought Deimos, Dockerby, Blitz was really smart, with the Grim there as well, of course, and Buck from the dead shot. Those 3 core operators that I mentioned, the ones that I look at and think as a trifecta at least, are very, very potent. It's just a case of making sure you're using them properly, and was illustrated in that last round. That wasn't quite what was done. Cash and CC we're going to go to, and it's a bit of a lock-up comp here, Tim. We've got 3 architects on side. We've got the Mirror, we've got the Celsius Army, and we've got the Castle. So they very much want to change how this site looks and plays. It's the kind of description from the Ubisoft devs, and what they see these operators as being is architecting a different way to play a certain site and do different things with these operators to make it play that little bit differently. And so you've also got the Clash to fire against. You've also got the ADSs in place from Moga to help deal with any thrown utility. It feels like a very much a locked-in setup coming out of Gen.G, but I think you might find a couple of players fancy going aggressive.
I mean, the lineup certainly suggests it. Yeah, if you're going to, send the Blackbeard in on the back of a Dockerby phone call, then yes, you would expect that to be done quite aggressively, quite quickly. Don't let them get themselves steady and ready for it. As it stands, a lot of attention being paid immediately towards construction, and Savage is going to lose his head. I love that teamwork. That was brilliant. Deadshot just missing another opportunity by fine margins there as well, but having the window open from the roof so it didn't scare Savage away from the window, and then Deadshot just picking him up as soon as it drops. Beautiful stuff. Skies manages to take out Mowgli as well, and that is Secret on the back foot, and this one continues to be that unexpected banger.
This is that moment, I think, where as Gen.G, you just go reset, 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 reset. We've got 2 kills. Like, this is great. We're in a 5 versus 3. We play our cards right. This round is unlosable. Now, I say unlosable, we've already seen throughout this game a 5v2 being thrown away, which is pretty spectacular. But they've got the Dockerby calls, they've got 2 on side, they've got a shield to play behind, they've got all the utility of the Zofia, all the utility of the Capitale. They've got so much they can use for this play. Frankly, there isn't really an excuse to lose it.
Clash is going to be the one fronting up that new breach, but does have to dip away into CCTV. It's going to be forced back and back. They know that there's one at top red as well. Blackbeard just being used for the time being to gather intel, provide information based on what's going on inside, but also to clear that utility as well, knowing that there were more keeper barricades to come. There are no longer. Acer manages to take down June. That is going to be the Clash off the board. It was one of the big plus points for Team Secret, was having that shield on side, but not anymore. The diffuser will go down as well. 5 versus 1, surely a matter of time. They know exactly where the last one is. Adrian gets an exit frag. Can he make it 2? Yes. Will he make it a 3rd? Absolutely not. Shut down in his attempt. And that's going to be Gen.G bringing us back level 4-4.
Accidental banger? Question mark? I don't know. This has been bizarre. Like, in that first half, look, I'm not saying Gen.G didn't win any rounds. In that first half, the ones that they did win, Secret were playing a bit off. This second half, it has been a bit of a tale of two takes, where you've seen Secret with a really, really good first round. The second one there, definitely lacking a little bit of conviction, I feel, and that is exactly why they got bowled over by Gen.G. Like, whether or not it was Secret trying to be a little bit too aggressive, we saw 2 players, of course, going down early, and Savage and Mowgli. Whether they were just so keen to get into a gunfight early on or not, I'm not sure. But it's almost like a bit of composure and discipline has disappeared at this point, and bleeding out players in that way, you can't really be doing that. As you say, it brings things all square. Gen.G 2 rounds away from being able to at least get a point on the board, and it's going to make the standings absolutely crazy, as we've referenced a few times so far. It's going to make tomorrow a bit of a wild day as it stands, Tim.
It really is. It certainly throws it all into the mix, doesn't it? We could see absolutely anything. If Gen.G come away, just having a look at, see if my table's updated here. Yeah, we've got the points on the board for Wolves. So if Gen.G come away with let's argue and say 3 points here. It puts them up onto 10 and into 6th place. So you'd have Gen.G on 10, BDS on 8, Fnatic on 6, Wolves on 6, and then Wild, who knows, if they get a win, maybe up onto 7. If not, they stay on 4 and wouldn't be able to. That would effectively eliminate Wild then. Yeah, it's a tough one to call because right now Secret are floundering a little bit. They're not having an easy time of this, even now they've got themselves onto the defense.
Extended hold coming out again, and shields upon shields, deployables, and the Clash roaming around through Cash CC right now. They know, or at least saw this cheeky bit of aggression coming out with the Maverick starting to open up. All right, calm down now. Tim gets really upset when Maverick holes are done badly, and that looks an absolute mess from Acer.
If you know that it's going to be a possibility, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you know that it's going to be a possibility to do it, you need to practice it. You need to make sure, if you're the Maverick man, that you're going to be going in there and clearing it out. Nice and easy. As it is, Ace has got the job done. Fair enough. But yeah, this is... They've lent into it. Secret have got the banner and thermite ban. The Ace ban likely comes next. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it a nightmare for Gen.G to be able to breach. So you've got to be able to say to them, look, it's not going to make a difference to us. We've got the Maverick. We can use it quickly and effectively. Absolutely beautiful through the smoke. He didn't even have his glasses on at the time. It's like he remembered afterwards. I can shoot him through that smoke anyway.
Absolutely no problem at all, but look, the shield here is doing so much work for Doom. Flash him all you like, it doesn't seem to matter. Noah's gone down, he's getting pushed up close, but has got support through the soft wall. Azot's getting one back at the very least. It's like tap for tail at this point, and they can't stop finding kills onto each other. Doom gets one more. However, all he's got to do is hold the position here, Tim. He's in such a good spot.
Yeah, this clash has attracted so much attention, and it's not even about Doom getting the kills. It's everything that's happened. He's kind of the sun in the middle of the planets. It's everything that's happened revolving around him in this position that's really done the damage for Gen.G. And he just keeps turning that shield on just to tease them and keep them at bay on red stairs. They do eventually manage to get the kill. 35 seconds left to go. You'd be forgiven for thinking that this one was going to be over, but Gen.G still very much in round 9.
Setting Selva.
Yeah, nearly all utility being taken down as well. I think there's still a C4 in the back pocket of Adrian here is so required. Double up in towards Logi, coming in from the side of Gen.G, pushing round together. And get a spray across with that Vector, Adrian. That could be all you need to see the round closed out, but for now at least, inviting them in that little bit closer as the clock becomes that third man here on the side of the defenders. In they step, and sure enough, 2 kills come out. Secret get both. They take round 9.
Yeah, good stuff from Secret there. Able to hold on, all built that hold around that clash position at the top of red stairs. Great stuff from Doom in that position, just to hold on for so long, supported by the Warden as well, backed up by Mowgli, just so much in towards that location, and it cost Gen.G dearly trying to get in there, and it was too much in the end. So Secret get themselves the advantage again. They still need 2 more rounds to lock this down. They're going to be going into the basement this time. It's a site that we would always say favours the defenders. Secret won it back in round 7. It was down to, if you remember, the Mowgli-Doom duo up on the top floor. Gen.G had no answers to it whatsoever. They went through them like a hot knife through butter. It was absolutely terrifying to watch, so we'll see in this round whether Gen.G have got any answer to that.
All right, basement. It is the fortress of this map, Tim. You'd expect to see Secret taking us to 6th and 4, but as we said all along, wilder things have happened. Could yet look to go the same way. For Gen.G, I expect to see us going through the whole map again, getting a full clear on the go. Seeing that lineup once again coming in where you've got the Dockerbee and the Deimos, but also being joined by the Lion here. So a lot of work going into this. Main concern would be mainly looking in towards things like hard breach gadgets or hard breaches in general. Of course, if most of it's left off, then it's not the end of the world. But how are you going to find yourself getting through a lot of these walls? 4 hard breach gadgets is going to be the answer. Let's pray to God that you don't lose either of those players too early on. Otherwise, some hatches or walls are staying closed.
They have the Blackbeard immediately aggressing towards that garage side, but they need to think about that top floor. Again, Mowgli and Doom are the ones up there. They've the clash up there again as well. And this really is, I think, going to be the defining point for this round. How do Gen.G deal with that top floor? They do have the option, of course, that Secret used in round 1 to just ignore the top floor, head straight into side. They know they would be 5 versus 3, but don't think they're going to be taking that risk, but this is good. Deadshot gets in, gets the kill onto Savage, and they are actually kind of doing that. They're ignoring those top the top roamers and just waiting for them to have to rotate back into them. They're taking a leaf out of Secret's book and using it against them.
Well, that could be enough sometimes. Juzo trying to make sure he can get back towards site safely. Of course, we're so mindful here. Like, are they on the windows to my right or towards my left? Where are they? You just don't know. Mowgli's going to have to follow them at some point, but maybe actually Mowgli is the bait there. They've had June return down to site to draw the attention. Maybe have forgotten all about Mowgli, currently holding inside a garage. I imagine he'll have to find himself working back down towards site here because, my God, Tim, they are starting to swarm. And at this point, Gen.G probably already starting to think, hey, we've got the advantage, we've got the utility. At what point do we hit site?
Yeah, that's it. They definitely need Doom minimum back on site, which he has now got himself into church, so he can start holding this down. It's not going to matter when Deadshot's coming in and hitting shots like that, absolutely deleting Noah. But Mowgli is there for the trade. 4 versus 3, still in the advantage for Gen.G, and every kill they get hurts Secret more and more because the clash that's left becomes, it's more essential for Doom to use that weapon, and that's when clash is kind of at the weakest, obviously not having a normal primary weapon, so you want to force Doom into those engagements.
Really needs to be getting that kill over the C4. This could be what makes the difference because that shield still stands. All utility being dumped in there. It's Flash Central. Adrian at least gets one back. The problem is there's a shotgun set up on that wall, Tim. They can't do much about it. Great back away there from the angle. Mowgli can't help himself but step out to try and get a kill. Pays the price. The clash still in position, but they've got to push down the main corridor to deal with him here, Tim.
Doom gets one. Can he find a second? It leaves us now in a 2v2. He knows that they're both there. He just needs to wait for his moment to take the swing, but Neko is able to pre-fire him out of it. Manages to get the kill. Asa gets back on his feet as well, but poorly timed for him. The Toxic Babe canister will find him. It doesn't matter, though, as the trade is there. Adrian's taken out, and we find ourselves once again level pegging 5-5.
It's another great round from Gen.G as well. The focus, they spoke about the swarming around main stairs, around kitchen. They knew what they wanted to do. I won't go as far as calling them lucky. It was just a little bit short places of C4 to not get rid of the Blackbeard, for example. Very understandably, Secret want that attack time out because they need to just cool down a little bit. Like the aggressive swing from Mowgli and that church wall, I get it. You want to try and find the opportunity, but largely you've cost arguably the most important part of that round for you, which was holding onto that church wall with the shotgun. You had Doom on the clash shield, sat deeper inside a church to be able to cover your Moto door. There was no way that you die in that position unless you swing, and that's exactly what Mowgli has done. And I don't want to harp on about him too much, but when I look back at when Mowgli was on walls, that was often his biggest issue. Was on entry on attack, he'd be miles ahead of the rest of his team. He was so keen to make something happen, he'd be off like a rocket. On defense, sometimes a bit too much on the roam as well. You're seeing traces of that throughout this game where, again, discipline is the word that comes to mind, but maybe it feels a little bit harsh, but he's just got to chill out a little bit.
Just looking at the current stats across the board as well, it's kind of almost Noah versus Azox in this game. Noah 11-6, Azox 12-6, and then everybody behind them kind of on 8s, 7s, 5s. Nobody on either side being able to reach those heights that those two seem to be achieving. So we're going to have Savage bringing along the Vigil this time. It's always an operator that I pick out, always a fascinating one. Doesn't bring much to the table in terms of utility. Those impact nades will usually be used by themselves to create rotations, to give them more flexibility and movement. So Savage has to waste time, and he really could do with finding a kill or two here. That's where you get the value out of the Vigil. So keep an eye on him and just see how effective that roam is.
All right. All 12 rounds of regulation are guaranteed. Mowgli's. Bloody hell, what's going on there? I think they're getting himself killed out of the fire there. Half his HP gone. That's not ideal. Kind of goes back to what I was saying a second ago. Discipline, the attention, whatever words you want to use, whatever it might be. Just keeps finding himself in these slightly unfortunate situations. Savage really fancying himself to do something quite magic on the Vigil, but as we speak about so often, quite a selfish operator at times. Pure goal here is to play your life, try and waste time, catch someone out if you can get away with it. But with how Gen.G been playing so far, Tim, how they caught Savage at the start of the last round, I don't think they'll let him have absolute freedom.
No, I think you're right. Gonna just see the Vigil spikes there, just being picked up on the drone, so they'll know that they've got a roamer in an unknown location. They'll start narrowing it down, of course, but this is where that time wasting comes in for Team Secret. Whoever wins this round, of course, will be the one that gets the opportunity to win in regulation and take the full 3 points. But with the way things have gone so far, I honestly wouldn't go against this one heading into overtime. It certainly looks like that could be the case, but for now, the droning will continue, trying to locate Savage on the Vigil. He hasn't moved as of yet, still inside of stock. Been there for a good while now, so if they're using the powers of deduction, they might just have a good idea at where he's located.
There we go. Nacro at least working his way towards main here. Previously, of course, we've seen Doom on the Nook stationed down here, waiting for rotations down these stairwells and getting away with a couple of kills off the back of it. Now, that's his intent getting in that spot, as you'll see from the first call coming out. Imagine a part of it is wanting to ensure he keeps control of this map, but at some point, of course, we'll have to head skyward and start towards the site. Deadshot's already pulling the trigger and starting to make stuff happen, and nearly loses his life there into the charge of the player at the top of red. A lot going on, Tim, but no one's fallen yet.
They know that he's inside of stock here, do they? They've turned away. Surely not. That's going to give Savage an opportunity to start making a bit of a nuisance of himself. Asa is going to start getting the diffuser down. He's going to get away with this. We see the explosives going off, but they're just not going to be accurate enough to get the job done. However, Secret on a big retake managed to find 2. It's 5 versus 3. Could they get in here and long on this? They might be thinking about it, but no, they want a couple more kills. Nako's going to say not just yet. Manages to take down Noah, 4 versus 3.
I was going to say, you've got the clash you can play behind here as well. They're throwing themselves in. They step in and find 1, not quite the second. Doom with it all to do. And this might not be a bit too much for him. Has got to go out the window for the 1. He's going to do that, but he's got inside of construction. Gets 1, but there is no time left. Gen.G are going to find themselves stepping up to 6 and 5. And they are 1 round away from bringing down Secret. What a game.
Overtime as a minimum here, but we might not even see that because we came into today, we had a conversation before this, Des. We said, yeah, the first game looks like the one that could go either way, but after that, we expect a Virtus.pro win, we expect a Team Secret win, Falcons, G2. Well, the first 2 of those matchups are making us rethink everything we know about EML Stage 1.
I have a feeling that you're probably going to find Falcons and G2 right now are bricking themselves. It's the curse of this penultimate play day, Tim. It's catching everyone. Trouble on Tuesday. Just absolutely bonkers that it's come down to this. In fact, the plant goes down largely uncontested was the one that surprised me most. Like, I understand that, of course, Gen.G would have had angles covered there. They would have made it hard for Secret, but the only contest they managed to pull off was a couple of impacts, and that was never going to be enough. It's sort of read, okay, well, people are off site as well. There isn't really enough cover here to stop us making this happen. Let's just get it down. No one below, nothing crazy going on. The fact that someone's got a plant down there with basically every single player still up alive and healthy is criminal. Secret will be kicking themselves if they lose this one. And as we've mentioned, that would mean potentially they find themselves losing the ability to fight for one of those top 2 spots. If G2 get any points today, Falcons get a point or 2 as well, then they're out of reach for Secret.
Yeah, the Deadshot straight away. He's been a big part of a couple of these rounds. We've seen him have some really important kills, quiet in others, but his kills that he has found certainly been impactful and have created a lot of space for his team. Gen.G know that they're on the cusp of something great here in Stage 1, taking down a big rival in Team Secret. Just 1 more round will do it. Team Secret spread over the map at the minute. They've got 1 down underneath. I was just going to say the Clash has moved back now, so everybody gets themselves back up onto the top floor at least. They're going to be able to work together, but in goes the Twitch drone, just stealing away that utility. Jacuzzi wall is open, prevents the play coming in from elbow. Dockerby Cole coming in, just so much discomfort for the defenders.
How bothered are they right now, Tim?
I'd say they're pretty bothered right now. It's starting to build. I'm kind of factoring in the overall significance of the round. You know, they haven't been pushed directly inside yet, but that Jacuzzi wall being open will make them at least slightly bothered.
Have managed to get rid of that mirror window as well inside a bathroom, of course, that covers everything onto Jacuzzi. And the Jacuzzi breach is an awkward one. It's just I think you can probably bolt over it, but that's about as far as they can get. I tell you what, massive risk them to only bring along the 2 hard breach gadgets. Like, sure, they've got away with it, but it's certainly not like open walls have entirely. Hasn't stopped Deathstroke going in though, Tim, and he comes on the Blackbeard. Savage yet again going down early in this round. Gets torched from behind as well to get to kill, but there's a trade from Skies. A second one comes through. It's a 3v2 for Gen.G, and they've still got so much time to play with.
Noah off site, but still manages to get the job done, finding Naquo 2 versus 2. Issa and Skies, they've got time to slow down a little bit here. 54 seconds, they don't need to rush anything. They see Noah coming. They've been holding that angle, but weren't able to find the shots, to find the kill. We just have a spray going back and forward. Issa taking more damage. Noah can't be allowed to come away with the kill there. They have to win that one. Gen.G, if they want to lock this out, 30 seconds left to go. They know Noah's position, but Skies has got it all to do.
Oh, he's trying to bait out that he might have gone in for a plant here. And now they know that he's in because he smashed the mirror window as well. Assumes they're inside of sight. He's losing to his own mind here, unfortunately, Tim. Has no idea that they're both elsewhere. And he's going to run out of time. It's going to have to be a case of trying to play for kills at this point. They know exactly where he is and what's going on. He's outplayed himself. It's going to be overtime, Tim. That accidental banger, it's on the way.
It really is. He's going to have to go in. No choice but to just try and throw this down on the floor. It's a matter of seconds before they reach him. In comes the final kill. And we're going to overtime, Des.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. Honestly, didn't expect it. Really will not lie, face what we've seen recently. I know that Secret have been on a slight downward trend. Gen.G on a bit of an upwards one. I didn't think we'd find one of our top 3 teams facing off against one of our bottom few and it being this even. But it's exactly what we've been gifted. Gen.G start on the defense, Secret on the attack. Do they just Hail Mary it and rush here, Tim, in round 13?
I mean, they did it back in round 1 and it worked for them. They did it in round 2 and it worked again. It's the one thing that Gen.G haven't really had an answer to, is Team Secret going in, opportunity spotting, and just getting aggressive when they see that small crack, going in and just tearing the whole defense asunder. But can Secret do it when it matters most? And they do it on that cold, rainy night on a Tuesday, Des. That's the question.
It's not raining tonight, Tim.
It's not, but now is when it really counts.
What I love is, it's easy to talk about a player when they're high up on the scoreboard right now. As Ops at 12 kills, Skies at 12 kills, Noah's at 14 kills. Skies, at least is how things stand here, has had 3 3Ks throughout the game, and they've won every single round of those that he's done it. Round 3, round 4, round 11, including a 1v1 being won in that round 11. And generally, the players walking away with 3 kills, Tim, I think it's pretty fair to say they've basically won the round for their team. 3 rounds that you can almost entirely attribute just to one player shows how good a game he's having so far today. Secret really got to buck their ideas up here, Tim. Of course, we had 3-3 halves, so you can't really lean either way. It's more down to the nuance of the rounds, which is why I thought seeing Secret go a bit fast might be their way to a win, but I expect at this point Gen.G are warmed up and they ain't letting Secret in.
No, exactly not. Mowgli going to be sat on the drone, sees the man underneath. We get to see the beautiful Furia skin he's using. Very much Mowgli. He's going to drop down to oil pit quickly, take the spray. He's hoping to just catch them out there. Not going to be the case, as Gen.G have managed to get themselves back to safety. So we remain 5 versus 5. The ramp will start working on that kitchen corridor, just trying to open up the verticals down in towards site. So Secret gonna have to do something that we didn't see in round 1 for them, and that was the slow progressive approach towards this basement site. That's how they had to play in round 4. Gen.G were able to win that defense. Secret gonna have to overturn it.
And look who it is, Tim. Look who it is. It's Skies once again on the main stairs. Of course, so much hurt and anguish up to this point. Of course, with that vertical there, you can deny the return back down towards site itself. We saw Secret leaving that a little bit open for him. Did eventually get a kill onto him from that position. But he looks very, very happy to try and challenge this spot, to be fair. If nothing else, he's almost wants to invite it into him. The C4 up and over he was looking for, but just about short arms it. Won't find his man, and so instead backs away. I think he knows they won't make the same mistake twice.
Just going to be watching at the bottom of main stairs through that mirror window. It's a bit of utility that Secret could really do with dealing with. Nitro! Absolutely beautiful throw up through the hatch. How can you allow that when it's open? Acer is going to be taken out in the trade, but they've lost Mowgli along the way, and a little bit of utility goes with him. 4 versus 4, 50 seconds left to go, and more Nitros to play with. Acer's not... Actually, Acer was only down, not out. 5 versus 4. He's been collected. Big move from Gen.G.
This C4 could be massive if it finds Noah as well. He's been, again, one of those big players for his team this game. Just he's playing it so passively, he's expecting it to see almost. Adrian on the backside here. Going to try and move quickly. Smoke off onto the mirror window. Out close. Gets rid of Skies, who's been such a problem throughout the game. In a good spot, but Fenrir is certainly giving him a little bit of grief right now. Right idea that he's looking towards. Finds it down onto Deadshot as well. Looks like finally Secret might have their march towards him.
Yeah, it's starting to fall apart for Gen.G here. As I say that, though, kills come in and leave us now 3v1. And the final one is Nequo. Secret, it's all crumbled. It looked like they had it, Des. But again, Gen.G find a way. And they will now have 2 opportunities to take the win against Team Secret in overtime.
Wow. Absolute magic. It's again another round where it feels like Secret have that advantage, and they just seem to completely bottle it when it matters most. I can't wait to watch the replays back from that, because a lot happened in that dying second or so, but it was a 4 versus 3. They had blue control, a player coming down main stairs. They had vertical, and yet everything still crumbled there in the dying second or two. Of course, we don't get to catch it all, but we'll see it now as that highlights come on through. How on earth did this happen? Great C4.
Yeah, it was a beautiful C4, and we see Deadshot down there. But then in the 3v2, this is where it's kind of the push down main and blue at the same time. I like the idea from Secret. Yep, split your push, force them to fight in opposite directions, but ultimately that just came down to hitting your shots. And Gen.G, they were the ones who were able to do so.
Well, I hate speaking out against Jack. I apologise. It has turned into an accidental banger. Granted. And Gen.G could yet get that 8-6 scoreline that he was forecasting. What a game of the day would prove to be. So here we go. Gen.G rocking out with that same lineup we've seen come out of them a couple of times. This time it's a double shield lineup they're coming out with. Dropped away from the Deimos instead, retain the Grim, and have got the Dockerby and the Lion on side. This could be very interesting.
Just holding that angle there, Nequo. Very concerned about potential aggression from Team Secret on the defense. I don't think they're going to want to give anything away quite so easily. There comes the flash, but they can't find the kill, can they? Eventually, yes, it's Nequo who manages to get it. Azox took a bit of damage along the way. Nitro comes out, but it will be shot out. So it's not going to be able to do any more damage. But Azox, he is taking damage after damage here.
They've done it! Why are we still swinging? There's 2 players in the room, including a shield. 3 players have gone for the swing and arguably paid the price. 2 kills come back the other way, though, because Secret hold on. It's feeling hard at this point because, oh my god, everything is absolute chaos. Savage doesn't know his left from his right on the Scott boss because of the Dokkaebi call and the hack coming on through. But this is why Gen.G can pause here, Tim. They've got an E1D to play behind. They've got smokes. They've got frags. They have got utility to yet make this work. So let's just calm down for a second, okay?
The big problem that they've got here, Des, is that the diffuser is down inside of sight and Adrian is stood right on top of it. Savage has got the cross. He's just holding on to blue to try and protect Adrian's flank. This is the issue for Gen.G. They're going to have to go looking for kills right now because they don't have the case. Savage manages to find Skies 2v2 and we've got a blitz, so everybody's low health, Des. Everybody!
Ring, ring. In comes the call. That's just like, oh, it's perfection for a blitz, but he's been down. No! Recoverable here as well. Almost tactfully. The environmental's going to help him get up here as well. Another impact comes on through. They've still got one in back pocket. Tim, he might be able to get a double kill here with a single impact if Savage puts it in the right place.
Yeah, certainly could. They know that they're in dirt tunnel. They know that they're kind of committed because the diffuser's there. He's going in, trying to get the case. Will recover it. Not going to have an opportunity to plant yet. Surely does manage to find the kill. Can Gen.G hold on this time? They've had the advantage before, but Secret were able to fight their way back in. Savage, he needs to make a move. The case is going down. He has to... No, Azox has come off it. He's going to try and relocate. He thought that he was being pushed. He thought that the cover wasn't there. He's gone back to his original position. He's going to give it another go, Des.
The blitz surely has to come off. No, the blitz has got it down. And now it's with the impact. Found one for himself, but you don't win the 1v1 against the blitz. Azox with the closing kill. And Gen.G get the 8-6 over Walls for our third... Sorry, I'm so lost. Over Secret for our third upset of the night. What a play day this is turning into.